Hi, welcome to Learn, Do and Grow. I'm Sok. Today I'm going to show you some trick and something that to remember for speed. So after today's lesson, I hope when you apply that technique, you should be able to solve any speed problem that you face during the exam or assessment. Okay, shall we start? Okay, look at this. These are what you need to know. For this, you need to know, firstly, the formula and what other scenario that it can happen for problem related to speed. Okay, and how are how each sub formula relate to each other. Later, I will let you know more about that. Okay, let's look at the formula first. If you are unable to remember this formula, I did one video before this to tell you how to remember. For this, I'm going to go through very fast. And if you have any questions or you want to know more, please refer to my previous video. It's about how to remember speed formula for life. So in this case, we have D, we have S, you have T. Why do I put D here? Assuming that these three, they are running in a race. And then in A, B, C, D, D come first, right? And after that, all the way S second, T third. So when we put here, first, second, third. And if you want to find D, we just have to block D. What do you see? You see S time T. So that is a formula. What if I want to find S? Speed. Then I block speed. What do you see? You see D divided by T. If you want to find T, I block T. You will see V divided by S. So this is the main formula. And of course, if you want to find average speed, meaning average speed is S, total distance divided by total time. Okay. So for scenario actually there are quite a number of scenario, but if you choose to sum up, right, let's look at one object moving. So let's say this is the town A to B. It's either the object move from town A to B or town B to A. And when there is only one object, we only have one distance, speed, and time. Okay. Now I'm going to make this a bit more complicated. So now one object, but I start at this time and I stop over here. So when there is a one scenario like this, I can say that over here I consider as D1, maybe the first part of the journey, okay? And when there is a D1, of course, the object travel in a certain speed, right? So that would be S1, speed 1. And when it travel, of course, it takes time. So over there, it should be T1. And the rest of the object will move here. So when it move here, of course, there is another D2. And of course, it travel at the S2. And it takes certain time that called T2. Okay, do you notice this? Why do I put it differently like that? The reason is each scenario they have different situation. Okay, for this situation, S might equal to S2, but in this case, I just have to label like this first. And in this case, I just have to label like this first. Okay, that is one object moving. So now, what about other scenario? Other scenario is something like this. There are two objects, okay? Two objects moving. So how does it work? Same thing, town A, town B. So we travel. It's either this one start first and after that another one start later. Okay, so for this kind of scenario it is the same thing. You have to write, for example, for this one, there must be a specific distance it cover. I call it d1, and travel by certain speed s1, and it takes certain time t1. While this object, it also the same, it also travel the same thing, d2, I call it d2, s2, and t2. So the moral of the story is this: as long as there is a different scenario, you label the distance differently. In this case, d2. d2 meaning it's not the same as d1. Okay, and let me go through another scenario. Another scenario is this: one object moving in this way, another object from here move here. Again, we have to do the same thing just like what I did just now. D1, S1, T1, T2, S2, T2. Later on when I show you example, you will see why I asked you to do this. The reason is that when you do that, the whole thing will be very, very clear. Okay, so this is another scenario of the two objects moving. So let me proceed on to the next portion. Okay, so how each sub-formula related to each other. Okay, it's related to each other. So for example, I'm going to draw this out. Okay, let's start with here, and over here start with this one. So over here I have the whole thing, I call it D. So if I have D, I should have S, I should have T. And over here I have D1, I should have S1, I should have T1. And over here I should have D2, S2, and T2. Okay, so how do they relate to each other? In this case, if you notice, okay, the total distance from here to here is equal to d1 plus d2, meaning the distance traveled by object 1 and plus the distance traveled by object 2, which is d2. Okay, and t also the same thing, t1 plus t2. What about s? Can I say s equal to s1 plus s2? The answer is no. The speed you cannot add up to find an average speed. In order to find an average speed, just now what did I tell you? Average speed is total distance divided by total time. Okay? That is one way to know all these sub-formula relate to each other. From here, right, later on during the example, you will know why I show you this and how it is so useful that it will help you to solve any questions. Okay. One more part. Certain time in a question, they don't tell you exactly what is D2, meaning distance for the certain part of the journey or the distance for the other part of the journey. They might just say that, okay, for the first half of the journey, you see, first half of the journey, meaning, what does it mean? Meaning, the first half is 1 over 2 of the total distance. Or they can just say that the distance for the object A is 2/3 of the distance of object B. So in that case, I will just say D1 equal to, let's say 2/3 equal to 2/3 of D2. So some question they will just give you like that and expect you to go and find out by yourself. And in that case, you must be able to link to this kind of sub formula. Okay, by now I think you have certain understanding about this type of sub formula and how it related. I'm going to show you the next slide, which I already prepared, and I will take you through step by step.